We have the Xbox revenue to talk about. Everyone's already been talking about it. What happened and what does it mean? Does it really mean anything? Is it the end of Xbox? Is Xbox dead again? As many people are now starting to come out and say that for the first time this year, Xbox couldn't even make it out of January without dying. So we will talk about that. The new dashboard is getting a lot of love, the one that was created for Xbox Cloud Gaming. And developers, where do they want to develop their games? This is an interesting one because we have the list, the percentages, and what does this mean for Xbox? And I think it really is telling for the future of the ecosystem. So we got the Q2 fiscal year 2026 financial results from Microsoft. And of course, within those results, one of the big things that people want to know about on in gaming is what is going on here with Xbox. Was it a good quarter? Was it a bad quarter? Was it up? Was it down? Now, before the quarter ended, we had the projections, and Microsoft was saying that yes, this was going to be a down quarter, and that's exactly what it was. So here are the results. They say here that gaming revenue decreased 9%, which Satya Nadella on the opening with his gaming content statement saying that he saw record PC players in paid streaming. And that is the highlight, I would say, for the overall gaming side of things with this fiscal quarter. Xbox hardware revenue dropped 32%. Basically, every quarter now, the revenue for hardware is dropping in the 30% range. And I believe that is by design. I mean, it is by design if you sit back and think logically about it. They've raised the prices of the console. They're not pushing it forward. They're changing their strategy with the PC console hybrid coming next. So there really is no incentive for them to continue to push to sell the Xbox Series X and S. They're going to sell through their inventory and then they're going to move on from it. It is by design as they see this happening. Same thing is going to happen next quarter and the quarter after. And all of that, again, I think is by design. And then the Xbox content and services revenue is down 5%. They say here, now some may think the changes to Game Pass are to blame, but when listening to the webcast, Microsoft CFO Amy Hood said that Microsoft expects Game Pass revenue to grow in Q3, not decrease. And that is a very interesting thing. This is part of when people are talking about this, they leave out this type of information. You saw a lot of comments that what would happen, what did you think would happen if they raised the price of Xbox Game Pass? My initial thought with the price of Xbox Game Pass when they did raise it from a business perspective, not from a customer perspective, obviously I don't like the price raises from a customer perspective, but from the business perspective, I thought it was going to have almost no effect on the revenue. In fact, I actually thought it would potentially increase it simply because I don't think the vocal minority of the outrage online was going to reflect how many people were going to just stray away from the service completely. Even at $30, most people, when they look at the games that they're playing, when they look at how much games cost, they see day one games dropping onto the Xbox Game Pass service. They'll probably still stay subscribed, and a lot of people will just downgrade to the lower tier. But overall, you're getting customers paying more, and a lot of them are going to stay subscribed at different tiers or whatever it is. The revenue more than likely is going to grow. I don't think you were going to see a max exodus of Game Pass subscribers, and clearly that has not been the case. There has not been a mass exodus. In fact, they're saying that the revenue will grow in Q3, which is a very interesting thing. I'm not shocked about that. Then Amy Hood also mentions that the Xbox hardware to drop again in Q3. Again, they told us last quarter that these revenues were going to drop, and they have dropped. But when the results come, people pretend like they're shocked at the results. The hardware next quarter is going to be down 30% again, maybe more, or maybe slightly less, but it's going to be down a lot. It's going to be in that 30% range, I would say. And again, I think that is by design, as they are really trying to move away from the current style of Xbox consoles. Whether you want to believe that or not, that is the case. They are moving to the PC console hybrid, and it's because of PC and how big PC is for growing. They also say here that they're blaming gaming revenue being down and below their expectations, driven by first-party content with impact across the platform. So basically, they're saying that the first-party games are to blame here for why the gaming revenue is down. And I would say Call of Duty is the reason. Out of everything that happened in the last quarter, it's Call of Duty. Now, Black Ops 7 was down comparatively to Black Ops 6. And that is the whole story in and of itself, because Black Ops 6 was such a massive game. Black Ops 7 didn't come to be nearly as successful as Black Ops 6. And that is in its own world, because even with it being worse than Black Ops 6 financially from the business side of things, it's still a very successful game comparatively to all the other games that have come out, or most other games that came out throughout 2025. Still very successful. In fact, we even take a look at this. It's pretty remarkable how even with it being down and all the hate towards the game itself, it's still the most played game, or the second most played game on PlayStation and Xbox. The only thing ahead of Call of Duty right now recently is Fortnite. We have this here, Call of Duty Black Ops 7, Warzone, and Black Ops 6 were the second most played game on PlayStation and Xbox for the first week ending January 17th in the US. Battlefield 6, with all of its sales success and how big of a game that has been, and I think that's a great thing because it brings the competition back between Battlefield and Call of Duty, it's actually no longer the top 10 for PlayStation and Xbox. Still number 3 on Steam, but on the consoles, it's no longer there in the top 10 for games that people are playing. And the reality is, when it comes to these styles of games, it's more important to have people continuously engaged in the game itself over a long period of time than just to have sales of it and then people drop off, because they make a ton of their money off of selling season pass, microtransactions, cosmetics, all of that stuff. And that's why Call of Duty is such a juggernaut. Even if their game doesn't sell as much as the previous year, the whole package there with the new game is still the top most engaged game for the majority of the year, which is pretty crazy to think about when you basically just hear only negative talk when it comes to the commercial side for Call of Duty Black Ops 7. And I think that is the main reason here why the gaming revenue decreased mainly. And then the Xbox content services, again, also down 3%. Now, Satya Nadella does mention something that is quite interesting, as I mentioned from the beginning of this article, that they saw record PC players in paid streaming. And I mean, Satya Nadella, CEO, he's the guy that is driving the boat for Microsoft. That is where they are moving towards. They see the growth potential in PC and the growth potential in streaming, and that is why they are pushing that so much, because the console market has stagnated, and it's stagnated basically with PlayStation and Xbox. And we'll see how the Switch 2 does. The Switch 2 is selling extremely well, but will it sell more than the Nintendo Switch 1? Probably not. So it's, or at least it'll be in the same range. It is why they're targeting PC and streaming so much, and that's what the focus is going to be next generation. Play Anywhere is the best feature right now in video games. And one way to get around developers potentially not making games for Xbox, indie devs, smaller developers, generally the big AAA ones are not going to skip it. But if you have smaller games that are skipping Xbox because they don't have the resources and they're going to focus on the platforms that have more players on the console side, the way to get around that is to make the Xbox PC. And they'll never skip it because PC is just so massive. You put it into Xbox and you're also getting the whole PC crowd all in one. And going forward, that is what their entire goal is. And when we talk about that, there was developers surveyed at GDC asked where they want to make their games. Now, Xbox on the list of the consoles is the lowest one in the percentage of responses here. It says, which platforms most interest you as a developer right now? We go down the list here. You have PlayStation 5 or the PS5 Pro, 40% responded for that. You have the Steam Deck under that at 40%, which is just PC gaming basically. And then you have the Nintendo Switch 2 at 39%. And under those, the Xbox Series X and S at 20%. But what the interesting thing here is, PC is 80% of the respondents. So this is very telling. I believe Xbox sees this and they say, we are just going to become the Xbox PC, the Xbox console PC hybrid, where it doesn't matter if the game is on Xbox console, it's going to be there because it's on PC. It's in the Xbox PC store, or it's available on any launcher. You're still going to be able to play it on the Xbox hardware that they do end up putting out. That is their strategy going forward. And that's why I say it's by design when you see the consoles not selling very well. If they pushed the Xbox Series X and S if they didn't raise the price of it, would it sell more? I believe it would sell more. I don't think it would still be anywhere in the range of PlayStation 5 or the Nintendo Switch or Switch 2, but it would sell more, and I don't think you would see the huge decrease 30% every quarter in revenue as we start looking forward here to the next generation and the next upgrade in the Xbox ecosystem, which I enjoy very much. And if you look at everything that they are doing, I'm actually excited about it having that full integration. You're pretty much in it right now. If you're playing games on multiple devices in the Xbox ecosystem, you're already in the next generation of what they are trying to sell us, what they're trying to push forward here. It's just going to continuously get better with features, with user interface, and just an overall integration as to where you can access the Xbox content. One of the things that they have updated is the user interface here for the cloud gaming. We've talked about this over the last number of days, and I think it's very nice. I like what they have done here. The new one that is right now in the preview, if they bring that everywhere, I'll be pretty okay with it. Like, obviously I still want them to continue to upgrade it and fix any flaws that eventually will get found from people testing it out, but it's getting there, it's getting good. And it does seem like this new dashboard, people want it on the console now. They want it on the PC. It seems like they've done a very, very good job with this initial launch here for what we are going to be getting in the future of Xbox. We have this here. It says Xbox's new dashboard is going down well, and some people want it on console and PC. Here are some examples of what people are saying here. This should be the full screen experience, and I would agree with that as well. I hope this will be the interface for the Xbox app on PC in time. I agree with that. This looks cleaner and more sleek than what we have seen on the consoles. And the more that I've actually gone through it, it just seems nicer overall. It does feel more sleek than what the console right now is offering, because the console, you have a similar experience, but there's so many tiles, so many different things on it, ads, all of that. This really right now does not have any of that. Will it expand out and be more like that? I'm sure they will sell areas of this UI for advertising. I mean, they make money off of that. I think will eventually come in, which is unfortunate, but right now it does seem like it is more streamlined and sleek, and maybe that's because it's still in preview. It's not been mass adopted in the Xbox ecosystem, and then eventually they'll have to add more features to it. It's still missing many features that are not there on the Xbox console, and I think that they will eventually bring a lot of that stuff over. But I do like the sleekness of it. I do like the navigation, and I think it looks really nice, hoping that this is what they are working towards with a full release of this across every device. Maybe one day we're going to get a huge update on the Xbox consoles itself, and then boom, we're going to have this new UI that no matter if you're on your TV, like through an LG TV or something, through the app, whether you're on your PC, whether you're on your console, whether you're in cloud streaming, we're all going to have this nice user interface experience. We have some more responses here on Twitter. You have Jez here saying the new Xbox cloud gaming dashboard is very good. It brings some of the better aspects of the Xbox PC and the Xbox Series X and S. And again, I do absolutely agree with that. He shows you some pictures here, which you're seeing some of the stuff that does make it overall better. And you get some responses here. This person says, I might even say I prefer it over the Series dashboard. And I think I've seen some comments in my videos where people are saying that. No ads, which I think everybody's on board. We like that. And we can see our friends easily like the 360. Are these the new achievement pop-ups coming to the Xbox PC and the Series? And Jess says, not sure on that. Does seem like they want to move everything closer together. I would say, yeah, they're eventually going to be coming. This person says, this new design feels more unified. I think Xbox has needed one consistent look across console, PC, and cloud. I would absolutely agree with that. This person says here that they changed the look of the achievement pop-up. They are finally paying attention to achievements, and because people have talked about this for a while. I've always been kind of okay with it if they didn't change it, but if they do make it nicer, whatever, as long as they don't take away the essence of what the achievements are. This person here says, I've just tried it, Jez, and it looks so good. Please speak to your contacts at Xbox and pass it on. I really want the Xbox PC app to see this UI. So a lot of people are liking it, and I'm liking it too. And again, we're in January still, even though Xbox couldn't escape being dead through the first month of 2026. It does seem like they are iterating and giving us new experiences, and we're going to see more updates for what the experience is going to be throughout this year. So those are all my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. If you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you are new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.